Hey guys, and welcome to my very first vlog. I'm Brizzy and this is my menagerie of horses. Anyway, this is my very first vlog kind of video that follows my life, and I thought I'd start this series of vlogs because, well, let's face it, I have quite a few horses and I'm rehoming off the track thoroughbreds as well as brumbies, so I thought, why not take you on a ride through my life. I was hoping that this first vlog would be a competition vlog, but it's not. Yesterday afternoon, when I went out to ride Jake, who is one of my off the track thoroughbreds, I found him with a very nasty wound. Now, I'm not going to show you wound photos just yet, but I do highly recommend that if you don't like wounds, then probably don't watch this video. There is a bit of blood, there is quite a lot of flesh, you do see a little bit of bone, you do see some vet stitching, and it's not really a pretty sight. So, if you don't like blood, wounds, bone, stitching, vets, do not watch. Okay? That's your only warning. Okay. Alright, let's keep going. Anyway, my name's Brizzy, and this vlog is about Jake and his wound. I don't even know what to call it. His wound progression? I think it's his wound progression story. How he heals, what happens, and everything in between. Let's get to it. So we'd rocked up to Golden Plains Equine probably about 5:30, 6 o'clock on Saturday night, which is always good fun. And I'm just showing you what I'd done. So I'd wrapped his leg because he had quite a bit of flap of skin that I wanted to kind of protect a little better while he was floating here. So I just pretty much put a bit of gauze and wrapped that on, and then I just put some vet wrap that I had laying around on it and held it together. This little cutie is Roxy, and she is Golden Plains' little mascot. She's the cutest thing ever. And then here we're just waiting for Jake to fall asleep enough so that they can give him the extra medication so that they could lay him down. And this video is him being laid down. So they just give them enough sedatives to kind of knock him out, and they're just holding him so that he falls more backwards and then sideways, because they just don't want him flopping to the ground, otherwise he can hurt himself. So they're wanting him to kind of go down slowly, just like that, so he doesn't hurt himself, he doesn't knock his face and do more damage. Now let's take it off his halter and putting a towel around his eyes just to protect them. And then they're gonna take off his bandage and have a look. So this is the first time the vet has seen the wound in person. I did show him a photo when we first got there because I had taken a photo on my phone. Well, my dad had taken the photo. So we were able to show them kind of what they were working with, but they weren't able to fully assess the wound until they had taken off the bandage. So they were able to make a game plan, which that's why they ended up knocking him out and doing it this way. It would be easier and they'd be able to get a better stitch job done.
It does. I think it's the worst.
and they were umming and ahhing at this stage whether they would put a cast on him, which we ended up doing, but yeah, they just kind of hadn't really figured out the game plan at this point in time. So they're just pretty much giving it a huge clean because my paddocks are very muddy at the moment, and you don't want any mud or dirt stuck in the wound because then it won't heal. So now the vet's giving it a good pressure wash. It was kind of like a pressure washer, but like for wounds. Water was going flying, it was going all over the vet, all over the Jake, it was going everywhere. It was crazy, but super fun. So now the vet is stitching him up, getting him ready to be casted. I do just want to address the weight issue. If people start commenting about Jake's weight, we have been working hard on getting him to build weight and muscle. He is a very lean thoroughbred, so he's never going to be like a super fat show horse, but we were working on muscle building and getting a nice top line. And he is fed twice a day on like the highest protein feed we can find, and he has been putting on weight, but he's never going to be like a super fat horse. And also he looks a lot skinnier because he is laying down, and he was very stressed and in a lot of pain, so he's all sunken in and he looks even worse. But he is a good weight. Well, he still needs to put on a bit more muscle and to build his weight up a little bit, but I'm happy at where he's at the moment for his training. So we had to roll him over again because the wound goes all the way to the other side, so the vet needed to stitch the other side, so we had to just give him a quick roll over so the vet could have better access, and then we roll him back over again to do the cast. He was quite funny when he rolled over, he had his tongue hanging out, so they had to shove that back in his mouth, the poor boy. Do you want two of us or just one?
Yes, we'll do it together, so the same at the back.
So they ended up recruiting my dad to help flip Jake back over to the right side so that they could do it a little bit more gently with a little bit more manpower, which it was very smooth sailing. When they did flip him over and have a look at the wound again, they'd realised that a few of the stitches had popped when they were rolling, so we had to go back in and do just a few more stitches before they were able to put the cast on. They also had to give the wound a bit of a clean, get rid of all that blood, because I don't want the blood hanging around. So there's just a few stitches there that had split open, so he's just going to go back in and give them a quick stitch, and then we are going to get to putting the cast on.
So you can certainly help holding the leg if you want.
Yep.
Just don't be offended if orders
Yeah.
get snapped at you.
Well, that's
Is that
okay.
alright?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
totally fine. I don't mind.
We can.
Have you had a busy day?
So they were putting that white stuff on around his leg to protect it for when the cast is put on, just a bit more padding, so it's not just a hard cast on his leg. And this part here that he is actually cutting now, that's going to go at the top of the cast on his legs, so that the cast doesn't rub his leg, because if the cast rubs his leg, then we will be left with a pressure sore, and pressure sores are worse than the actual wound that he has now. So that is not what we want. That's why we're putting this on, and that's why we have to be so vigilant about making sure he's not uncomfortable with the cast on, because if he is, then that could be a sign that he's getting a pressure sore, and that will be very bad news. Then the vet explained after this that he vet wraps it with that white wrap, so that when they are cutting the cast off, that the cast cutter can't actually cut through this white wrap stuff, so it just protects his leg more. When they're cutting the cast off, the cast cutter won't cut into his leg, which is another good thing. We don't want his leg being chopped off by the cast cutter. So then I was recruited to hold his foot in place so that his foot would be flat when he stood up and not pointed, because if they put the cast on and his foot was just left in the way it lays, then he wouldn't be able to walk on it very well. So that's what I'm doing, holding his foot flat.
Briar. Yeah, that's alright.
So first they're just putting on this white cast, which is just your normal white cast if you break your arm and you're kind of waiting to get your coloured cast. This is what they put on first, so it's exactly the same thing. So they put that on underneath just to protect, have a bit more stability, and then they'll put on a blue cast after this to give it more support and make it more robust, so that if he knocks it, it won't break or dent or do anything like that. Hey guys, so I've just gotten back from Jake being at the vet's. He has got a cast on and he's staying there the night because when we left he was still asleep, so they had to wake him up in their padded box, and then yeah, we just thought it would be better for him to stay there the night. I have stables, but I hadn't had one set up for an injury, so we were gonna be getting home really late, having to set up a stable quickly for him, and it just really wasn't gonna work properly, so we decided to keep him there, which is awesome because then he'll get the best care and they'll look after him. Sorry guys, I don't know what's happened to my eye, but it's very weird. And I've got a cold sore and I've got no makeup on and I'm almost ready for bed, so I look beautiful. But anyway, it's springtime and all the horses are giving me really bad hay fever, so that's why I got a red eye. But yeah, going back on the story, so Jake is still at the vet's and the prognosis is looking good. He only just grazed his tendon, so he shouldn't have any problem with his tendon. When he comes home tomorrow, I'll go pick him up. He'll have 2 weeks in the stable, not allowed out at all because he's got a cast on his leg, and then the vet will come out and cut the cast off, have a look at the stitches. I'm not sure if they're going to take them out after the 2 weeks, but I suppose they'll figure it out when they cut the cast off and see what it looks like. And then he'll be bandaged for a little while and we'll put him into a small yard for the time being, and after this accident we'll probably end up just keeping him paddocked by himself. He's a funny horse and he doesn't really get along with many horses. He's been fine in the paddock with everybody so far, but just recently he's been getting a bit narky, so I'd been meaning to take him out and put him in by himself, but I just kind of hadn't gotten around to it, so I feel really bad. But yeah, after this we'll get his paddock set up and sorted, and then he'll have a beautiful paddock all to himself, which I'm sure he will love. And then I'll just keep him stabled and paddocked, and hopefully he'll heal up and get back out competing. Well, get out competing eventually, maybe, hopefully. That's the plan anyway. Well, that was the plan. Horses, who would have them? But yeah, I was super proud of the vets. They were so lovely. I honestly couldn't have asked for them to have been any nicer. They let me stay in there the whole time. I got to help out with the cast. I got to really see what was going on. They were super helpful with any questions I had, and yeah, I just can't say anything bad about them. They were amazing. So yeah, that's what is happening. It is, I don't even know what time it is, but I think it's like 11:30. So I'm dressed for bed. I've just had a shower and I'm going to sleep. I'm not going to think about it until the morning, and then tomorrow we get to go pick him up and see how he is, and then bring him home and we'll go from there. So I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so we are currently in Winchelsea. Mum stopped to get a coffee and we are on our way to pick up Mr. Jake from the vet. So I got a call last night at about 1 o'clock saying that he'd waken up and he was happy and he woke up really well. They said he woke up really softly and he didn't thrash around, which was really nice to hear. And he's had a really good night. So he's still getting used to his cast on his leg, and they also said that they did put a shoe on it so that it won't get worn down as easily. And that's about it. So we'll go pick him up and load him on the float and travel him home. We've sorted out his stable for the night. or for the next 2 weeks. At the moment I just had a bit of straw, so we put a bit of straw down on the floor, and tomorrow hopefully I will get some shavings and set it up a little better for him. But yeah, I'm excited to see the big fella and see how he's doing. So let's go there. Straight on. Is there a boot on? Is there a boot? Molly? He just wants some grass. Okay guys, so we are back home. Jake unloaded pretty well. He's not the best unloader. My float's like, it's made for a normal sized horse, and he's 17.3, so he's gigantic, and he is a bit squished in there, so like he fits, not a problem at all, but turning around in it he finds it a little bit difficult, and especially having a cast on his leg, he's found that he found it quite difficult to get off. So he wasn't the best, but that's okay, because he has settled into his stable. He's currently eating dinner, as you can see. He's got his grass hay net there, and then we pan around to his bottom. That's his loosened hay net there. So he's currently eating dinner. He's just had his meds, his bute, and his antibiotics. So twice a day at the moment he's getting antibiotics in the neck via injection, and he also gets bute in his mouth twice a day. The car just drove past, so sorry if that was bad audio. So yeah, so he's settled back into his stable. He is now on 2 weeks box rest. We'll have the vet out a few times to check him. I have to do a daily walkout and check to make sure that he's walking on his casted foot okay. I'll have to stay vigilant that he's not getting any pressure sores, because if he gets a pressure sore from his cast on his leg, we are in big trouble, and the already expensive vet bill will be even more expensive. So we have to stay onto it. We have to keep a close eye on him, and yeah, that's about it. But yeah, so he's in his stable for 2 weeks, and hopefully he just from the stress, he's like already a a lean thoroughbred. He's very hard to keep weight on. He's like gets the most fattening feed twice a day already, and he still looks a little lean. And we were just starting to build muscle for competitions, which won't be happening now. So yeah. So he's in here now, and I plan to do 3 feeds a day to try and help him build a bit more weight, so that when we do start riding again, we'll be able to build muscle easily. And it's going to be a bit of a fine line, because I want him to keep putting on weight, but I don't want him to get too crazy, because he's got to do like as less movement as possible. So we'll just see how he goes, guys. But yeah, he's normally, he is a very sweet horse, Jake, and he is one of my favourites. I have a few favourites, guys, and you'll meet them all later in different videos that we do. But yeah, poor Jakey, he's got a cast. Let's have a look at it. So yeah, so that's his cast there. As you can see, it's a little swollen above, but not too bad. That scar that is above the cast is from his previous injury that he's done there. He has actually cut this leg. This will be his 4th time. First time with me, but 4th time in his life. He was a very accident-prone young man, apparently. And he's done this quite a few times. So we thought it would be best to put a cast on it to protect it a little more, but obviously we've got to stay very vigilant and make sure it doesn't hurt him. So it's going to be very stressful times. We'll have the vet out quite a few times. Well, I think every time he drives past, we're going to have the vet come and have a check on him, because normally they like to keep casted legs in this vet clinic. So we've been lucky to be able to bring him home. And yeah, so that's Mr. Jake for ya. Hey Jake. He's tucking into his dinner, guys. Aren't ya, hey? Yeah, you had a stressful night, you got knocked out. So I got a call last night at about 1 when he'd woken and settled into his stable, saying that he woke up well. And yeah, he's done really well. So he's home, he's settled. Hopefully we don't have too many crazy moments. He is a thoroughbred and he is on quite a fattening diet, so which fattening diet means energy diet because it's protein. So hopefully we don't have a crazy horse, but you know, we'll work with it. Hey Jake, we'll do it, won't we, bud? We'll do it to get you better. So yeah, so that's Mr. Jake boy. Hey Jake, hopefully he will be on the mend. I'll try and get as much progress videos as I can. We'll get videos when the vet comes to give you little updates. But this is the first video of his probably month-long journey. And we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we should have fun with this. So thanks for watching my very first vlog video. If you do like this video, please give it a like. Please, if you haven't done so already, subscribe, as it really helps me out. And I hope to see you on in our next video. And also, stay tuned for other cool videos. It won't all just be about wounds, but owning horses, they do like to hurt themselves quite a bit. So hopefully this is the only injury video we make. But if we do have any more, or even if we have any horses that come to us that need rehabbing for different reasons, then we'll be sure to take you on those kind of journeys. I'll still have the Brumby videos coming up of Brumbies being trained. We have another one coming soon who's also wild. So we have a lot of videos in the work, guys. So stay tuned, please give us a like and a subscribe, and have a good week. I'll see you all next time.